From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the Hourly News Blast. LGBTQ Nation is reporting a staffer who worked under Elon Musk at the Department of Government Efficiency admitted that he and another staffer eliminated federal humanities grants simply because they referenced the LGBTQ plus community. The staffer, 28-year-old Nathan Cavanaugh, made the admission during a January deposition as part of a federal lawsuit brought by the American Historical Association, the American Council of Learned Societies, and the Modern Language Association. The lawsuit filed last week seeks in part to restore National Endowment for the Humanities grant funding canceled by DOGE. The organizations argue that DOGE staffers violated the federal Equal Protection Clause of the Fifth Amendment by flagging grant descriptions as DEI solely because they included BIPOC, or Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, homosexual, LGBTQ, and Tribal, among other terms. In video testimony released by the plaintiffs, Cavanaugh essentially admitted to doing just that. According to the original complaint, Cavanaugh and another DOGE staffer, Justin Fox, were assigned to review Biden-era NEH grants as part of the department's efforts to dismantle the independent federal agency in accordance with President Donald Trump's Anti-Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Executive Order. The lawsuit alleges that Cavanaugh and Fox personally terminated nearly 1,500 grants using a non-governmental email account and without processing the terminations through NEH's grants management system as required by internal agency policies. During his sworn deposition, Cavanaugh admitted to having no experience in scholarly peer review and that decisions to cancel NEH grants were made entirely based on his and Fox's personal judgment about what constituted DEI-related programs. I think a person can have enough judgment from reading books and being well informed outside of traditional experience to make judgment calls about obvious things like a grant that literally lists DEI in its description. Cavanaugh testified before admitting that he had not read any books that informed his decision about what grants to cancel. In a motion for summary judgment filed last week, the organizations note that Fox admitted in his sworn deposition that he used ChatGPT to identify all active NEH grant descriptions containing keywords like gay, BIPOC, Indigenous, Tribal, melting pot, equality, and similar terms, which he flagged as craziest grants and, quote, other bad grants, end quote. Cavanaugh admitted that the craziest grants were those which, in his and Fox's view, were most obviously in violation of the president's executive orders. He admitted that they based those determinations solely on brief descriptions of the grants. Over 24 LGBTQ plus related grants were among those flagged as, quote, craziest, end quote, according to The Independent. During Cavanaugh's deposition, attorneys for the plaintiffs read descriptions of some of those grants, including one project examining the experience of LGBTQ plus people in the U.S. military and another looking at HIV/AIDS in American prisons. Cavanaugh admitted that the grants were canceled because they referenced the LGBTQ plus community as well as feminist and queer insights. Asked what he considered crazy about studying LGBTQ issues, Cavanaugh responded, nothing on its surface, but it's craziest in its egregiousness of the violation of Trump's executive order. The Independent notes that Fox testified that he earned $150,000 working for DOGE, and Cavanaugh said he earned $120,000. Both testified that their actions were justified by cutting government spending. Cavanaugh expressed no regret, describing the canceled grants as wasteful and unnecessary in the context of a $2 trillion federal deficit, as if spending $1.3 billion in 1 week to bomb Iran makes any more sense. You don't regret that people might have lost important income, attorneys asked. No, Kavanaugh responded. I think it was more important to reduce the federal deficit from $2 trillion to close to zero. Asked whether DOGE had in fact reduced the federal deficit, Kavanaugh admitted that the agency had not. That's a news blast for this hour. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.